Hello and welcome back to the Fantasy Football Upside. I am Justin and that is Kyle. And we always like to start off by saying thanks for stopping by our Fantasy Football podcast and YouTube channel. We've been talking for a little bit. We've been having some good times. So
yeah, thank you.
And we're going to keep the good times rolling because we're going to be bringing you a new mock draft.
Yeah.
So real quick on a recap from last week on the Upside, we wrapped up our midsummer rankings. And we also brought you 6 more sleepers, as well as some overvalued and undervalued players. So definitely check those out. Check out the episodes in the description below, and then Kyle will point at the most recent one. Boop. Boom.
Yep.
All right, Kyle, let's break down this mock draft. How are we doing this?
Well, first, I just want to say those sleepers are what we call sleepers.
Yes.
And so, yeah, you can like them. You don't have to like them. It doesn't matter. All right. I just wanted to say, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Look, we try to put out some fun content. It's going to be going all year long. We talked about last week, maybe there's going to be a season, maybe there won't. If there's not, we'll still probably, scream into the void here for a little while.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because we are ready.
While you're doing that, Kyle, I do want to give a shout out to my buddy Zach. He got one of our questions from last week. So, next beer's on me, buddy, because I'm sure you've bought a ton of beer for me and putt-putt games because you suck at gambling, and I appreciate that. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, and I mean,
that's my nicest way of putting it.
Doesn't he have better things to do than watch us?
I know. I think it was like on a Saturday night you dropped that comment.
Yeah. All right. Okay, guys. So here we are. I'm going to go ahead and hit start draft. It's going to go ahead and give us a. It's
going to randomize as well.
Randomize our order, but we're doing we're just doing a standard league, standard scoring, no PPR or anything like that. We're doing 1 QB, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, a flex spot. We are going to keep the kicker and defense. We're doing a 60-second round and 6 bench spots. Let's see here.
You are number 9, and I am number 12.
Wow. Okay, so we're drafting the back end here. Decent. We got, you know, 9's a tough spot. 9's a really – I mean, I like 9 sometimes. I don't know if it's a good spot this year. I'm not sure. I haven't done a lot of mocking from that position. So let me pull up the draft board here.
And we are using Fantasy Pros, of course. That's what we use, and we have the premium functions of that. That's what we highly recommend. So it's pretty straightforward, and we like it because of all the cheat sheets you can create in the draft board. And yeah.
All right. So, gosh, wow. McCaffrey's gone. Barkley. Henry went 3rd ahead of Elliott. That's an interesting move there. Michael Thomas ahead of Devontae Adams, who's ahead of Cook and Kamara. Gosh, I'm looking at the running backs here. And, the nice thing about picking toward the back here is that I do have a lot of opportunity to grab, 2 good running backs. And I think I like Jacobs over Mixon. That's just my personal thing. I know that you like Mixon probably over Jacobs here, but I'm going to go ahead and take Jacobs.
No, I'm not a huge fan Jacobs over Mixon. No, I definitely I have Jacobs over Mixon, and we'll run through some of these on the draft board and everything. But you can see the screen. Kyle's going to have the draft board up and see everything. So, I'm surprised
to see Hill go in the first round.
Yes.
So yes, I'm also surprised to see Chubb go in the first round, but that's my opinion.
So. Well, that's both of our opinions. That's for sure. So I'm going to go off of my draft board, and usually I like to go like running back kind of thing. But right now I don't really have a running back here that I would think. I mean, Aaron Jones is really close. Joe Mixon's pretty close as well. But you have Julio Jones still available at number 12. That's pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and stack Julio with. Then we have the next pick. I don't mind the little 1-2 punch kind of thing. I actually have Aaron Jones ranked ahead of Joe Mixon, and his ADP is 8 right now for Joe Mixon, ADP 16 for Aaron Jones. There's a lot of hate out there for your guy in the Green Bay Packers, and
Aaron Jones. I think people are really scared of AJ Dillon.
They are, but. I mean, we all know this is going to be a running team, and the only thing that's going to happen is A.J. Dillon's going to be coming in instead of Jamal Williams on those series.
Well, he's going to get the goal line carries possibly, but you have to look at what Aaron Jones was doing. And if you really want to check it out, you can check out any number of the breakdowns we've done with Aaron Jones. Check out the rankings that we did early with him. And if you look at the breakdown of goal line carries, he had a phenomenal number. It was like 14 plus, and he had a ton of TDs in that time frame.
I went ahead and just drafted Aaron Jones.
All right. Clyde Edwards-Helaire went off right after that, and then Joe Mixon finally gets picked. This leaves kind of, I think I'm down to like 2 guys that I would consider here. Let me just double check the wide receiver situation. I could go wide receiver here. Chris Godwin is still available.
That's
one
nice.
One of the balancing points I have to make here is that I'm not going to pick again for another, I don't even know. Probably I'd have to figure it out. I'm not sure how many picks right now, but quite a few. They're looking at what be 8, 16, 17.
Yeah, you're picking
the next one.
You're picking before I am, but it's a long time from now.
It is a long time from now. So picking up a wide receiver here could be a good idea, but I'm super tempted by Miles Sanders here. So for me, it's Miles Sanders or I don't know though. Chris Godwin, DeAndre Hopkins, Kenny Galladay. I'm going with Galladay here, man.
Yeah,
I'm doing it. People are they're gonna razz me about it. Think I'm crazy taking Galladay.
We love Galladay.
I think
if you look at the numbers, man,
he's a top 5 wide receiver this year.
Easy.
All right, so Mahomes went off the board as well. Godwin's gone. It's a run on wide receivers here, guys. Yep. So it's a good move.
AJ Brown went before DeAndre Hopkins. Wow,
that's crazy. That is
my guy Kittle went off at the end of the second, so we had a tight end come off, so the top 2 are off.
Yeah. I mean, I had no hopes that Miles Sanders or Kenyon Drake would slip to me here at the third round.
It's tough in the third round,
but
9th pick in the third round.
Yeah.
We're at 30 seconds. What do you think?
I really like Todd Gurley this year. People are mixed on it a little bit, but I think he's in a great situation where he's going to get a good amount of targeting. Lamar Jackson in the third round would be worth considering, but because you do get a lot of run yards out of him, but it's not, in my opinion, like the move.
He's not
who I
available
like
anyways.
as far as wide receivers. No, that's what I'm saying is that he just went.
Okay, I got you.
Calvin Ridley and Robert Woods would be somebody I would
you got 3
consider,
seconds.
but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with Todd Gurley. The wide receiver situation thinned out really quickly there. Todd Gurley was I was just looking to see if there was going to be somebody that would be worth jumping. So Robert Woods is gone now. Juju Smith-Schuster's gone.
Yep.
What are you thinking here?
So I have running back Aaron Jones and Julio Jones. I get the Jones brothers.
Is there another Jones on the board? Do we have a tight end?
I don't know.
Maybe you want to go with a kicker? Is there a Jones kicker?
Oh, I could definitely go for a kicker. I mean, it's the year of the kicker, as what Taco would say. But here at the top of my board, I still have Leonard Fournette, and he's actually the 20th best player on my draft board. And it just all has to do with volume, and he's going to still get a ton of it. Yes, Chris Thompson's there. He might take some of that targets that Leonard Fournette got last year, but yeah, I think everybody knows Chris Thompson.
I heard some noise this week that people are thinking he's going to get traded still. That he might not even make the team somehow. And I'm like,
if he gets traded to another team, then good for him because maybe he'll have a chance to have even more production.
Yeah. I don't know what I believe on some of this stuff. Pretty out there, man.
Yeah.
All right. So what are you doing here at the top of the 4th?
So what I've gone is wide receiver, running back, and then running back. Okay, what's next? So truthfully,
running back. No.
For me, here's another one. I mean, this is going to look great for my draft board. Is Adam Thielen could lead the league in targets.
He could.
It's a run first team, but can you name me another wide receiver, Kyle, on the Vikings for me?
Justin Jefferson.
Can you name me a rookie wide receiver that's on the Vikings?
What's his name? Olabisi Johnson.
All right, that was pretty good. You pulled that out. I think he goes by BC Johnson.
Yeah, he does. He goes by BC Johnson. Yeah.
But I went ahead and picked Adam Thielen just because the opportunity. I mean, he could lead the league. In
OBJ
targets.
goes in the 3rd pick of the 4th round.
That's pretty good, man.
It's okay if you buy it.
I know where you're going.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do. I'm not super happy, super excited with my running back situation. I do think it's solid. It's not as solid at the top as I would like. Like Josh Jacobs is a great pick. Todd Gurley is pretty darn good.
Mhm.
But there's just nothing here, in my opinion, at this point that's worth going after right now. So where I'm going is the obvious pick for me, which is Calvin Ridley.
Yep.
Look, I like Lockett there as well. I would even reach down if I had to, and I would go get Devontae Parker here. But I think that's a round early as far as like the price that you actually have to pay. I think you can get him in the 5th. Now there might be a run here and he disappears, but
nope. Looks like he's actually still available for you.
Well, there you go. I don't know if that's where I'm going. I would have liked to have seen David Johnson still hang around maybe, or Jonathan Taylor in the 5th round.
Yeah, looks like we had a run on some wide receivers, a few more running backs like the Melvin Gordons, Mark Ingrams of the world that we kind of are avoiding a little bit. David Montgomery would have been an okay pick in the 5th round, I think. And then, you mentioned David Johnson. He went right, a few picks before you.
Yeah. Yep. I want to jump over here and just see what they're suggesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still suggesting QBs and tight ends and stuff. Not really what I'm interested in right now. I like Raheem Mostert. I also like DeAndre Swift as an option. I do like Ronald Jones. These are good running back options. Wide receivers still got Devontae Parker and DJ Chark, Michael Gallup sitting there. I think what I want to do, though, is still grab some running back depth at the moment, I think. And I actually am going to go with Raheem Mostert. I think that he's got
a great pick,
an anticipatable volume, if that's a word.
It is now.
You understood it, right? And then Devontae Parker went off the board, DJ Chark as well. So like I said, those are two really good options right there. I don't know what you're leaning. You leaning wide receiver or are you leaning running back here? Or you starting to consider you're going to
in the end of the 5th round.
Is this where you're going to take Josh Daniels or not Josh Daniels? What's his name? Dan Jones. You going to take Daniel Jones or Josh Allen?
Yes. Danny Dimes? No.
Yeah.
That's not where I'm leaning. It's one of those things where, guys, don't worry about the Buccaneers signing LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah.
Even LaShawn McCoy came out and said, I'm just here as like a mentor and a little bit of a change of pace. Mm-hmm. And he's probably like, hopefully I still make the roster. It's one of those, I'm a veteran. I'm going to go ahead and try to attach myself to a up-and-coming team when it comes to what TB12 coming out. So,
yeah,
that's what I would assume. So sixth round, first pick, man. Zach Ertz is still available. I usually wait on tight ends, but he's still
is gonna
available.
Go. Yeah, Ertz is going to go if you don't take him here.
Yeah,
not by me necessarily, but yeah,
especially with the strength of schedule number 1 for tight ends.
I'm just showing them the pick predictor right now here, so it's it's anticipating the picks that are coming. So I don't know what you feel here. You could.
I think I am going to go with Zach Ertz, which is going to be a little bit of a change of pace for me. I usually wait on tight ends, but I feel like in the first pick of the 6th round to get Zach Ertz, potential top 5 tight end, that's not bad.
Yep.
Yeah, it kind of mixes it up from what we've done previous mock drafts. So we like.
All right, so let's see who went off the board. Yeah, I was actually thinking of changing it up. Look, Kyler Murray just went off the board along with Russell Wilson, and I was thinking,
incredible. You were gonna possibly.
I was thinking of actually going and grabbing Dak Prescott just to give it a try here, see what happens. I don't know though because I want to see what the wide receiver situation is. I'm one of those depth guys. I can't stop myself, right? It's tough, but it would be awesome to be able to grab Michael Gallup and also pair up with stack it with Dak Prescott. That's simply not going to happen. That's just not
at
going
this point. Yeah.
I do have Kenny Golladay, and it'd be nice to stack with Matt Stafford later. So I think that's the angle I'm going to take. A lot of rounds. I could wait probably 3 or 4 rounds. So I think what I'm going to do actually is go ahead here. I just want to double check running backs last minute. And no, I'm going to go ahead and take Michael Gallup. That's who I'm going to go with.
7. Was that the 6th round?
That's the 6th round. Michael Gallup in the 6th round is a pretty nice pick. He has the potential to outperform Amari Cooper this year. Mm-hmm. He really does. All right, so there goes Dak. He went right off the board after that. Drew Brees in the middle of the 7th round is
Drew Brees.
That's a really interesting one.
Yeah, in our community league, we got. When did we get Drew? Drew Brees. It was like in the 10th round or something like that.
9th or 10th round. Yeah. All the experts are fading Drew Brees. He's ready for one more ride. He really is. All right. I'm definitely leaning running back here if I can. If there's somebody worth grabbing,
Philip
it's starting to get
Lindsay,
thin
Zach
here.
Moss.
I like J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, you do
Philip
love you
Lindsay's
some JK.
good.
Yeah.
Gosh, Zach Moss is way down there though.
Yeah, it's still.
I think what I'm going to go with is J.K. Dobbins here. That's probably a terrible pick, but we're running against a shorter clock.
Yeah, well, we're talking about upside when it comes to J.K.
yeah.
Dobbins. I mean, you draft somebody in the second round for a reason.
Yeah.
That talented. Yeah,
He could.
truthfully,
I mean, he really could perform. Sonny Michel went off the board there, and then Tyler
which
Boyd
is
after him.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of, I wasn't saying I'm going in between Tyler Boyd and.
I'm surprised at the number of tight ends that are off the board already in this. I really am.
Oh yeah, Hunter Henry. So I'm kind of glad I went ahead and got Zach Ertz when I did because the next tight end was Tyler Higbee and then Hunter Henry. Ugh,
well, I'm surprised that Ertz lasted as long as he did.
Yeah. Yep.
But I can see it. I can see it. People are going after Waller. So earlier, where are you going here?
I need another wide receiver to fill out that starting lineup, and I have Marvin Jones still sitting here somehow. The end of the 7th round. So that's a pretty simple. I'm going to go ahead and draft him because Kyle was hoping that he would come back around, and he probably knew better that wasn't going to happen.
Oh, no, I've already got Kenny Galladay, so I'm not going to pair up positions on the same team. I would take a running back there. Like I would take DeAndre Swift. I wouldn't have a problem doing that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So coming back around here, first pick of the 8th round. Let me just go to my suggestions. I'm still just going to go to the flex and see what it says for me. No, not that. Not that.
Sure, you don't want to take Josh Allen here?
No, I'm good. Philip Lindsay wouldn't be a bad pick here either because you really don't know what you're getting out of Melvin Gordon. I mean, you do.
You kind of do, but you also kind of don't. I think that Philip Lindsay is going to perform. He had a tough year last year.
Or do I go Deontay Johnson? Man.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good opportunity, too. There's a lot of good value right now at wide receiver.
I went ahead and went with Deontay Johnson. I feel like I can probably go ahead and add some more running back depth, but Marvin Jones and Deontay Johnson back-to-back. Yeah, that's
all right. Let's see what the situation is here at QB. It's looking okay. Situation at QB is okay for right now. Running back. I'm going to sit back for a tad. Wide receiver, I know exactly where I'm going here. If I go wide receiver and then tight end, I think I'm going to hold just a tad bit longer. And I'm going to go down here and grab Christian Kirk.
Yep, gosh darn it, you didn't let me guess.
I mean, look, Christian Kirk was going to be wide receiver 1 on this team for a reason, guys.
Yeah.
They jumped at the opportunity to take DeAndre Hopkins because they could. And
because Bill O'Brien's a dumbass.
Yeah. And so I can't blame them, but Christian Kirk is a solid guy.
Oh, man.
Okay.
I'm
so
glad
now
you drafted another. I'm glad you drafted Christian Kirk because some of these names that just came off after that, Julian Edelman, Will Fuller for wide receivers, and then like CeeDee Lamb and Cole Hardman. Those are a lot of just.
It's all depth. There's not as much upside. Like Mecole Hardman is got some decent upside because of his athletic skills and everything. Emmanuel Sanders definitely does. I like him too. I'm going to jump here into the pick predictor really quickly so I can just kind of see what's going on. It's talking about Matt Ryan going, Mike Williams, a few other guys. And I actually am leaning towards tight end here now and reaching and grabbing Hayden Hurst at the moment.
I wouldn't call that a reach really in the 9th round.
Well, I mean, they called it a reach, but I don't think that's a reach.
No.
So you're on the board here, or you're on the clock. Sean Vaughn and Latavius Murray went already.
Yep.
In the 9th round, 8th, 9th round is where I start considering tight end, and so that's why I went that direction. But, what are you looking at? 9th,
10th round is kind of when I start to take a peek at quarterback, and Matt Ryan is still available. That's not too shabby for a guy that's really going to sling the rock maybe 700 times this year. So let's just go ahead and draft him, and then we can kind of get ready for our next pick here. We're probably starting to look at some more running back and wide receiver depth type players. And now I still have Tariq Cohen up there ranked 102nd overall, and we're at the 109th overall. So, he's got an ADP of 125, but I think Tariq Cohen still gets enough consistent work. And especially if you start throwing in Nick Foles in there as your quarterback instead of Mitchell Trubisky, I think you might be a little more accurate on those short throws, and Tariq Cohen can just take it off whenever he wants. So let's just go ahead and get Tariq Cohen as a nice little running back depth pick here at the beginning of the 10th round.
All right, I'm up on the clock now.
Yep.
Tariq Cohen, Deshaun Jackson. It's not populating. There we go. Jerry Jeudy goes off the board. I'm looking at running back, wide receiver, maybe QB here. 10th round is phenomenal time to pick a QB. Let's see.
Wow,
I'm looking available. Running back. There's a couple guys down the board I think that might still be there when I'm looking. Wide receivers I like Anthony Miller.
Yeah.
Jamison Crowder is not a terrible idea.
No, even in a non-PPR, he's not a terrible idea because
10th
he's still
round is
the number one option there.
10th round is a little early for him. And where I'm going instead is QB. Because there's just a few guys. He's the last one that I would want, and that's Matthew Stafford. But there's a few guys I'm willing to take if I miss out because I make a mistake or something.
Yeah. And now you get to stack that Matthew Stafford and Kenny G.
Yeah, and Kenny Golladay has been in his career somewhat touchdown dependent. I'm not going to hold that against him. He's a wide receiver, it's kind of his job, right? So I'm up again here, and let's see what happened. There we go. So Antonio Gibson has shot up the board as far as like percentage of people who are going to take him and everything. He's up there right now. He's available. Carlos Hyde is there.
Yeah.
As far as wide receiver, I want to look at what I'm doing here. I've got 4 of each wide receiver, running backs. There's a couple guys I like, but I'm going back to running back. Anthony Miller is he's the wide receiver I would consider here. And I think that's where I'm going to go.
It's a good pickup in the 11th round.
Yeah, I'm going to go with
I probably would
Anthony
have gone
Miller.
there if he was still available, even though I had Tariq Cohen. We don't mind doing the running back wide receiver on the same team.
Yep.
So, yeah, we're definitely just looking at some depth picks here. And, if you've watched any of our episodes or anything like that, we've liked this running back from the Eagles, and that's Boston Scott. I mean, some people might say that 11th round. I mean, we're basically in the 12th round. That still might be early for some people, but not for me, really. I mean, he is still going to have a decent amount of standalone value. So I'm just going to, even though I have Zach Ertz, I'm just going to go ahead and draft Boston Scott here. And then we'll probably look at a wide receiver here because you still have some decent wide receivers. Or, man, Carlos Hyde's probably shooting up some draft boards as well because, I mean, he did put up 1,000 yards last year, and you really don't know what you're getting out of Chris Carson. Yeah, you don't know what you're getting out of Chris Carson or Rashad Penny. I mean, Rashad Penny is definitely not going to be ready, and they say Chris Carson will be, but, man, when you fracture –
there's no guarantee.
If you fracture a hip and you're a running back –
yeah.
Yeah, and I just feel like you're still going to be able to get some more wide receivers a little bit later. So I'm just going to go ahead and get Carlos Hyde. So it's like we're going back-to-back running backs, and I should be looking pretty good at running backs. I think that gives me 6. 1, 2, 3, 4,
all right.
5.
N'Keal Harry went, and then
6.
Antonio Gibson. And Antonio Gibson in the 12th would have been a good grab for me right there.
It's a nice little flyer
I'm sitting
pick.
I'm sitting here looking at running back pretty much. And I think that's where I need to go at this point. I've got 4 of them on my team. I do like AJ Dillon here. If I'm looking down the board,
Damian Harris is still available.
Yeah, Damian Harris is available. I don't know if I would take him over AJ Dillon right now. I know
Dorrington
that
Evans.
Yeah, I know that the Packers are going to run the ball a lot more. And I feel more comfortable with the guy who I think is going to be the number 2 there. You got some upside on possible goal line carries, that sort of thing. Damian Harris, I'm yet to see him really get anything, right? He's been in the league for a couple of years now, and it's that's frustrating. So I'm going with AJ Dillon.
Okay.
And
it's only a second year for Damian Harris coming in a second. Yeah.
All right. So the reason we included defenses and kickers this time, usually we exclude them when we're just not going to show you those picks because they're not really worth it. Usually, is we included them because some teams will take them earlier, and so it does affect draft positioning of things. So look at that. Austin Hooper goes all the way into the middle of the 13th round.
Wow.
Quite interesting. And then look, Damian Harris, he's available there. So if I did want to double up on those two guys, I think I would lean towards Durant Evans possibly. I don't know. I'm looking here at the wide receiver situation. I see Randall Cobb hiding out down there a little bit. He's somebody who people are speculating could end up as wide receiver 1 on Houston. I think I'm going to go with Damian Harris though, because I think that the upside is there, that it's entirely possible opening day he's the starter. It is possible. Right now, Sony Michel is on an injury list, and he might not come off for a while. He could be popped out of this for a little bit. And then James White isn't going to be the every down back. Burkhead might not make the team. There's lots of reasons.
It's a lot. So for me, I'm probably looking wide receiver here because I'm already at 6 running backs. I don't like to do 6 and 6 with the 16 round, and I was kind of disappointed that Allen Lazard went right before my pick because I would have liked to get the most likely number 2 wide receiver for the Packers. Even though I do have Aaron Jones on the team, but I mean I don't think that's really an issue to say no to. Yeah, but. A consolation prize would be D.D. Westbrook. And this is a guy that's had 101 targets the last 2 years. And
is that combined or each year?
Do what?
Is that combined or each year?
Each year. He's had 101 targets each year. And, what we know about the Jaguars is the fact that they're probably going to be playing from behind. So there's going to be some junk time, and there's going to be some, the Tyreek Minshew is going to be throwing the ball. So I don't have a problem with doing that. And then, so I'm probably wide receiver again here. I'm going to go wide receiver again. And hear me out. I'm looking at Paris Campbell, Hunter Renfrow, Russell Gage.
Yeah.
Because my suggestion is
it's a COVID season, man. It's a COVID season.
It really is.
And so you got to consider the fact that people are going to miss time, not because they're necessarily sick or anything, but you've got 5, 4, 3 here.
I'm going to go ahead and get Paris Campbell.
Okay.
I think last year with the injuries, I think he's going to step up this year. All signs are pointing that he's fully healthy, so could be a nice offense for the Colts.
I would have liked to have seen Durant Evans slip here to me, but that's okay. I should be leaning wide receiver here because I need to make sure that I'm balancing myself a little bit.
Yeah.
I could take a couple flyers here.
Real quick, Tom Brady is still available.
Oh, there you go. If you want to go 2 QBs, right? So at this point, I can take a flyer on any number of guys because, in my opinion, there's really not a whole lot at the top of this wide receiver list. I want a wide receiver here. I could just say, okay, well, if there's not anything there for me, then I could go look at the running back. I could also look at tight end. Blake Jarwin, I'm sure, is available. That could be a flyer worth taking. But I'm actually going to go down here, and I'm going to kind of make a little bit of a surprise pick, and I'm going to grab T. Higgins.
Okay.
Guy who, if AJ Green just doesn't show up this year, if the game is kind of passing him by, it's entirely possible that T. Higgins ends up as the number 1.
John Ross getting cut kind of rumors out there, so I mean, he could really
that would be surprising.
I mean, dude hasn't been able to stay healthy.
Yeah,
and when he's been on the field, he's performed here and there, not very consistently.
Yep. All right, so coming back around, it's time for defense and kicker, and we're just going to go ahead and get
We can do it real quick, Kyle.
We can do them right now, really quickly here.
We'll just make it quick for us.
There's already at the 6th here on the defense.
The top kickers are kind of still available, I think.
Yeah, they are.
Maybe Justin Tucker is still. Justin Tucker went off. That's only one, I think.
Yeah. Here's some Butker. You know what? I'm gonna go kicker then defense.
Yeah,
I'm comfortable with that. I stream defenses more than I stream kickers. So for me, grabbing that kicker that's better or more reliable up front is a little bit better. They've got Mr. X Factor himself, Greg the Leg Zerline.
I might actually go with Greg the Leg because whenever it comes to
Legatron.
Kickers, yeah, I like to look at their bye weeks. So then if they're later, it's like, okay, if they're in a good offense, which the Cowboys should be a good offense, and he's still Greg the Leg. I think he was more cut for salary reasons. It's like, I don't have to worry about kicker
He's
for
also
quite a while.
He's also kicking indoors.
Indoors for at least half his games.
Yep.
So let's get Greg the Leg, and let's go ahead and take a look at my defenses. Let's see what's available here. Minnesota Vikings is the top one that it says.
Chiefs are there too.
Do what?
Chiefs are there too.
I don't really have the Chiefs. I have the Chiefs pretty far down there on my board. I actually have the Colts pretty far up there because I'm a homer. But yeah. Well, truthfully, if you look at their first few games, because that's what you really want to do in your defense is look at the first few games, and the first few games don't really scare me that much.
Mm-hmm.
It's Jaguars, Vikings, Jets, Bears, Browns, Bengals.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's mix it up. Let's draft my homer. Drafted the Colts, baby. Come on down.
Should I go and reach for the Packers there? I think actually the Packers are a little bit undervalued. That defense puts up sacks. They've got a lot of secondary players who are coming into their second and third year.
I mean, if they could stop the run, I mean, that would be probably a plus.
Well, they added what's his name? Christian Kirksey, I think. Is that his name?
Yeah, linebacker from
they added him, and then they there's a bunch of talk about rotating some other guys into the interior. So I mean, they're looking at ways to do it.
Yeah,
I like the Chiefs here too. That I do like them actually.
Okay.
I think that they're a solid defense, and that they have the luxury of playing with a lead usually, so they can ball hawk a little bit more. So
take
that's
some more
how you score
chances
points.
here or there. I mean, that's how you do it when it comes to fantasy football.
Yep. So let's check it out. It gave me a B.
Okay.
Let's see. I got 85 out of 100. I always seem to get that.
Me
but that's anytime you draft. Anytime you draft Matt Stafford, that's what happens. My bench. They don't. They're like ADP of Matt Stafford. Don't take him.
It's all actually pretty close on everybody when it comes to the overall scores and everything like that. It looks like.
And so, it put me at the top on the bench score by a lot, but it also put me on the bottom for my starters. So there you go. And it put you and I both in the middle overall. So that's according to the Fantasy Pros guys. If we were to, check the other stuff, we could see what that looks like. Draft analysis. It's looking at, let's see here. Gave me a steal on Anthony Miller. Looks like you got one on Matt Ryan.
Oh yeah.
And that's anything that they consider to be two rounds outside of, or after they should have been picked up. Now, one round outside of that, it gave you good picks on Zach Ertz, Marvin Jones, and Matt Stafford. It actually thought I did a good job picking him where I did, but it just doesn't like that I didn't get a better QB according to it, right? So, there we go. My weakest position, it says, is QB. My strongest is kicker. There you go. Yep. Kicker defense. Boom.
Nice.
Yeah. I you know what? I want to do a kicker defense league some year where you have to the kicker defense challenge and maybe we do that and just entertain everybody a little bit.
There you go.
Where what you have to do is join a Yahoo Public League and you have to pick a kicker and defense in the first two rounds. That's the only rule is you have to do that. And then you have to figure out how to win the league after that. So that would be very, very devastating to get the first pick and just be like, which one do I take? Kicker or defense? So it's it was okay. was a good draft. I liked it. I liked the team that I ended up with.
I felt good about the team I put together as well. I mean, I would be fine with that because I think we both have some good upside players, but still some very consistent ones as well. So I think we both did really well when it comes to our teams.
I think so too. Where I feel a little bit less sure about myself is my running back position. I do think that I'm a little bit thinner there than I would like, just because I think that Josh Jacobs is definitely a first round talent. Todd Gurley as my second running back concerns me a little bit, but by taking him,
flex. Love him in a flex.
I would love him in my flex, but by taking him in the third, I was able to get Kenny Golladay in the second. It's a little bit of the difficulty of picking toward the back of the draft. You really have to, and this is why mocking is very, very important, because you have to plan out, okay, if I pick this guy, what's going to happen? And the nice thing about Fantasy Pros is that you can actually unwind the picks. So if you pick a guy and you go, okay, who's available now? And you go, okay, now I want to undo that pick this other guy I was thinking about taking, and then I want to see who's available now in that next pick. And it allows you to really kind of craft what you want your roster to look like when you're done, so that what you're doing is actually setting yourself up for that draft day where you go, okay, I know I'm leaning this direction instead of this direction, because the odds are that the roster I want to build will continue to come to me that way. I love the wide receivers I've got. I think that's a solid set. And so I feel less worry about my running backs as a result of that. I think that they're solid enough, and I'll probably be more carried by my wide receiver group. And stacking Matt Stafford with my wide receiver one is a good way to do that.
Yeah.
I like your team too. I think that the running backs are pretty solid for you. And I think that your wide receivers are phenomenal. I think that what you've got here is one guy who's slightly off pace of the other two, and that's Marvin Jones. But I think you can look at those three and you can go clearly wide receiver one, wide receiver two, wide receiver three.
Yep.
So, yeah, absolutely. I think that this turned out pretty solid. So,
cool.
So that's it for this draft, guys. And, thank you for watching. We'll post another one here, I think, here very soon. So,
yeah. I think that's it. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us on this mock draft. And I mean, we're getting closer. We're getting very close to that draft season. So hopefully the actual draft season does start. So bear with us, hang out with us, have some fun with us. And that's why we love doing these mock drafts. So,
All right, guys. Thank you again for being a fan of The Upside. Make sure you click that subscribe button and click that bell so that you're notified every time that we upload the best fantasy football podcast on the internet. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.
See you guys.